feel the bike vibrate like a big shaking through my body. I had to change the front tire last second to get a better ride height, and I didn't have time to balance it. The vibration grew as I went faster and faster, and I was strapped in so tight my body was feeling every shake and bump. My GPS speedometer started to get blurry and grow in size. For my rookie run, I was capped at 150 miles per hour. As a rookie, they basically follow you down the track, make sure everything's good, make sure you know how to drive. At mile 3, I pulled the parachutes to script some speed, and they pulled right out. I was feeling super stoked. My first run was almost over. I slowed to about 30 miles per hour and started lowering the gear. Meanwhile, I watched the left side of the course to look for a turnout. I knew the position indicators for the landing gear were malfunctioning, but I figured I would just slow way down and wait for the supporting wheels to come all the way down. As I came to an almost stop, my left side gear started to touch. And when I went to turn out of the track to the left, the bike actually tipped to the right, and it should have been a landing gear, but I ended up just rolling over like an egg on a countertop. I skidded to a stop about 10 feet. It was uneventful in terms of Bonneville tip-overs, but slightly embarrassing. Track officials rolled up within seconds, and I was getting out of the now horizontal bike. After a limping toe to the pits to an ungroomed sod, I sat with a massive grin on my face. That's not exactly how I imagined it, but the experience was to never forget. I decided that I was just going to pack up and leave because a record run wasn't in the cards. I had to get everything fixed, so the return home was slow, uneventful, and minutes after I got home, one of the trailer tires finally released all of its air. I guess the road god spared me on the roadside frustration, but couldn't help but leave me with one last goodie.
For the last 2 years, I've followed Robin Shute and his team, the Sendy Club, at the Pikes Peak Hill Climb Race, and for those 2 years, they have been faster than everyone else there. Robin has actually been king of the mountain 3 of the last 4 years, and the 1 year he wasn't, it's because he didn't show up. I have detailed all of their secrets in 2 videos, and here again today, and yet none of you have taken this info and used it to make a faster, more Sendy car, so they're probably going to win again. Should I even bother to drive all the way to Colorado and wake up at unholy hours of the morning to drive up the mountain and make another video where the Sendy Club encounters some obstacles and has some failures, only to overcome them to be the fastest up the mountain? Again. Yeah, why not? But this time we're going to find some other cool cars. Electric cars, motorcycle-powered cars, truck cars, and a really weird battle for the diesel-powered record. I love race cars, just barely more than I love sleep, so it's always tough to set the alarm clock for 3 a.m. to get to the mountain for practice mornings leading up to the race, although the sunrise is very nice. The race is held in June every year when the weather is usually nice, but also wildly unpredictable. Last year, fog crept in, obscuring the top and slowing everyone way down. The year prior, a flash snowstorm shut down the top of the mountain, shortening the race course. This year, heavy snowfall in the winter left the top snow-capped all the way into late June. Even when the weather cooperates, the race is formidable. The course starts at a higher altitude than any racetrack in the world and then climbs almost a mile from there to the top of the tallest mountain on the southern front range of the Rocky Mountains. At that altitude, the air is very thin, making it difficult for both race car drivers and their cars to breathe. The low pressure decreases the power output of an internal combustion engine by 1/3. It makes it a lot harder to keep the engines cool, brakes will overheat faster, and aerodynamic downforce doesn't work unless your wings are really big. Racers have found solutions to these problems, but sometimes these solutions create their own problems. Everybody has their own ideas on what the solutions are, so you end up with cars that are all different, engine setups that are unique, and drivers and engineers who are all a little bonkers, but in the best way. I guess we'll start with the Sendy Club, even though we all know they're going to win. I'm actually kind of excited for the team this year because the weather is looking good, the car is looking good, and it's
What the
faster
fuck
than
am I
it's ever
doing?
been. So with some luck, they have a shot at some
I can't
records.
fucking count
The
to
fastest
4,
car
bro.
ever on the mountain was a huge multi-million-dollar Volkswagen factory effort back in 2018 with a time of 7 minutes and 57 seconds. The Cindy Club sector times in practice have been looking pretty close. It'll be tough to break that outright record, but it's possible they could be the fastest internal combustion car with some luck. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The weather is clear so far, but the road at the top is bumpy. Snow melt could leave parts of the course wet, and it's hard to get traction on the pavement cooled by the surrounding snow. The day before they left for the mountain, the team took the car out to Willow Springs Raceway to test and tune at the Streets of Willow course. They ended with a lap time 6 seconds faster than they had ever run before and 9 seconds faster than any posted time they could find. It's not an officially timed lap record, but it might be the fastest car ever around that track by a lot. Of course, racing never goes that smoothly, and when they got to the mountain, one of their upgrades for the year started causing more problems than it fixed. The team used a turbocharger to make up for the thin air at elevation. A turbo uses the energy in the exhaust gases to force air into the intake. Here's the problem. When you slow down for a corner, your engine stops spitting out hot, explodey exhaust gas, which makes the spinny part of the turbo slow way down. When you get to the exit of the corner and mash down the throttle, the turbo has basically stopped spinning, so you're not forcing air into the intake, you don't accelerate, and you lose. Last year, the team mitigated this by changing the ignition timing so the engine just kind of spit fire right into the exhaust. This year, the team added air injection directly into the exhaust. This works better at keeping the turbo spooled up and ready to go on corner exit. But you do have to tune it, and you can't really do that until you get to the thin, high-altitude air on the mountain. At first, it wasn't great. It wasn't
Oh
keeping
my
the turbo
fucking
spinning.
god,
But
that
then,
was
after
nearly
some
the
corrections,
worst
it was
thing
too
ever.
good. The anti-lag wasn't balanced well with traction control. Robin hit the throttle on corner exit, lit up the tires, and spun the back end out. He dumped the clutch to get back up to speed, but that broke something in the drivetrain. We all waited in the pit area for the car to come down, worried that it was something serious, a transmission input shaft or a gearbox filled with metal
I don't know how that
shards,
works.
but it was just the axle, the part of the CV joint that attaches to the wheel. Actually, this was the only thing securing the wheel on, so after the spin and the tow home, the only thing keeping the wheel on was hopes and dreams. That and the friction of the pins. Easy fix, not that bad. Last year they caught on fire, so, step in the right direction. Further tuning of the anti-lag system had it working well, but since the turbo was always spooled up and always had flame shooting through it, the intake temperatures got really high. So they mocked up a cold air intake, went to the hardware store, bought some materials, and made it happen. This is one of the team's superpowers. There are always problems at the racetrack, especially Pikes Peak. The Cindy Club is excellent at identifying a problem, deciding on a solution, and executing it cleanly and quickly. I would have just drilled holes in the side with a hole saw, but that's probably why they don't let me touch the power tools. So, some minor challenges, but nothing they couldn't handle. This is going to be a short video. Let's look at some other cars. If these two cars look kind of similar, it's because they're both the
Dude,
same
what is
car,
happening?
or at least mostly the same. They're both Wolf GB08 sports prototype cars. This one is driven by Dan Novembre. Dan is a Pikes
Dude,
Peak
my
local who's been racing here
timer.
for 15 years. His pit
Damn
crew is his
it.
family and friends, in-laws and kids.
How do I keep
Fantastic
fucking
people.
pressing it,
Also,
man?
fantastic car. If you watch this channel, you know I'm somewhat of a connoisseur of motorcycle-powered cars. I love them. I own 2 of them. And the only thing better than a car with a motorcycle engine is a car with 2 motorcycle engines. 2 motorcycle engines bored out and grafted together into one 2.7-liter V8. It sounds wonderful. Dan is running naturally aspirated, no turbo, no supercharger, not even nitrous, just a 10,500 RPM 32-valve V8 like God intended. This engine makes about 370 horsepower at sea level. Unfortunately, that drops to about 200.
Dude, what? Why not? Why not? Dude, I keep forgetting the fucking timer. Oh my god. Holy fuck. That might be it. Okay. Right. That's not an 8:28. I need to measure how much time I lost.
One is driven by
32 seconds, I should start at 37.
Dude,
Okay. Okay. So that's 58. 58 seconds at 32 seconds. That's a minute 30. 1 minute 30. Oh god. I think I got a 9:58.